and welcome to Civatree Talks. This is episode number 2 in our 3-part series with VMware, hosted by Civatree's President Richard Lichtenstein. Enjoy episode 2, Unlocking the Value of SAP through VCF, VxRail, and SAP vRealize Automation.
Today, I have the absolute pleasure to introduce one of the leading experts on modernizing SAP and my dear friend, Dominic Uliano, who is the Global Alliance Director for the SAP practice at VMware. Dom's background, and I won't brag about it because he doesn't like it, but 20 years with SAP, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now, 6 years with VMware now. But time flies, huh? 5, there you go. And if you have a question about SAP and VMware, he's the guy you go to, and we all do. And we are lucky to have you today with Civatree Talks, and looking forward to our session, my friend. Welcome.
Thanks, Richard. Wow, what an intro. Thanks for all the compliments.
You know, I always like to be your agent. Today the subject I want to talk about is to me, the true modernization of hardware, the software defining of hardware, the ability to have hardware really truly take advantage of software-defined VMware, and that is vCloud Foundation, and especially with our friends at Dell with the VxRail system. Because, you know, to me, that now helps the customer. It's part of the DNA of the system going up front. It's no longer putting blocks in and doing that. You're literally launching a software-defined data center and doing that. So the first thing I'd love to talk to you about and get your feeling, because I know you've been very involved in the SAP side on this. You know, give me a little more detail about VCF. What is it to the average guy? A lot of our SAP customers don't understand that, or what vCloud Foundation is, and then the benefits of running on a VxRail.
Yeah, wow. So VCF is our latest, greatest generation of the software-defined data center. Really focuses on 3 main components: vSphere, vSAN for storage, and NSX for networking, all coupled together with the SDDC manager, which then allows it to have automated lifecycle management, right? So the 3 components are now engineered to work together, right? So instead of cobbling, roll your own kind of model, they're engineered from the factory to work together on the appropriate hardware, which of course, one of those hardware options is VxRail. Now, the VxRails, the nice thing about Dell and VMware's collaboration is we not only just engineered this as state-of-the-art software, but we engineered it to work really well with Dell's VxRail platform. So, for example, Dell's VxRail Lifecycle Manager integrates to our SDDC Lifecycle Manager. Just one little thing to make it so much easier for customers to maintain and automate their platform from a lifecycle management perspective. We co-engineer, we co-test, so we know that our platform works really, really well with Dell's platform. We can be very prescriptive with customers on how to size their environments. Why? Because we've been working together from day one on this platform. So those are some of the benefits. Trying to think what else I can tell you. When it comes to SAP, we also certify our platforms jointly, right? So for SAP HANA on top of, say, VCF or HCI, if you will, is done by VMware and Dell together, certifying both the hardware and the software, making sure that the KPIs are delivered for HANA.
Yeah, when we deal with customers, one of the things that we like to talk about is building blocks. That a customer today may say, well, we're going to move BW over to HANA, but we're not going to do something with ECC today. A year from now, doing that. So the building block approach of VxRail with VCF gives them that opportunity to do that, right?
Yeah, it does. So the nice thing about it is first of all, we recommend a homogeneous approach, right? We don't like the piecemeal approach. It impacts the availability, impacts the TCO, impacts the agility, right? So overall, we want customers to use a consistent platform for all their SAP systems. Putting it on VCF, first of all, VCF is fully certified with VxRail for HANA. It also can run SAP NetWeaver applications. So there's really no technical reason not to do it. But what it also does is it becomes this cloud operating model. So it actually helps customers who are thinking they might want to move into a hybrid model down the road to start to be foundationally set up within their data center to be able to, to be able to move forward onto the cloud when they're ready.
Yeah, and it's portable, right? I mean, another topic we will talk about more around the VMC cloud, but the VCF model is portable to the cloud, allowing you to do simple things like vMotion over and back and forth, where you get to use that software defined no matter where you are. That to me is really where VMware has really crossed the barrier to be so multiply flexible as we go through.
Well, and that's our hybrid cloud reference architecture. You're absolutely right, Richard. So take the three main components, and they're the same on-prem now as they are, say, on VMC and AWS, right? So the customer knows exactly how to operate their SAP environments, whether they're on-prem or whether they're on, say, VMC and AWS. They're the same exact platform. Same versions, if you will. So you're absolutely correct. It's consistency with that operating model between both on-prem and cloud.
Yeah, and when we talk to customers, we try to highlight with the software-defined data center and the now vCloud Foundation is one of the great strengths of VMware is automation and the ability to remove menial SAP operational basis work by having the software-defined part of VMware take over some of those roles, integrate into some of the automated models. So for instance, and maybe you can spend a couple of seconds talking about this, integrating into, say, SAP's Landscape Manager or Llama, utilizing this technology, where VMware has actually gone to the next level of actually building adapters to really reduce cost. For instance, you and I have worked with some very large, say, life science customers where they've seen reductions in the multiple millions just by the automation piece.
Yeah, so that really is the heart of our software defined, right? Software defined isn't just policies, but it's also the ability to leverage programmable APIs. Imagine me able to provision new compute or new VMs or new storage or new network programmatically, right? So not using the end user interface, but actually writing, through an API, creating this infrastructure. Well, those APIs need context, and that context comes from SAP. So we have to build an environment programmatically to support SAP system copies, auto scaling, those types of things that SAP requires. And by integrating SAP Llama with our adapter, with our programmable infrastructure, SAP can now be very dynamically managed around system copies, right? We don't need really people to do all that. And it's pretty labor intensive, but system copies where we could provision new virtual compute, do the system copy, and provision this new SAP system with really just a touch of a couple buttons and not a lot of time. That saves people time as well as dollars, right? This is exactly our value prop around the SAP automation side.
Yeah, and you know what, at Civatree, we really highlight that when we work with customers, because what we try to do is sort of drive down, and Dom, you've been involved in this, like literally in a spreadsheet, drive down where they're bleeding on the operational side and try to see where we can literally fine tune it. That's how great this solution is that allows you to do that. And so, for us, that design around that, to take that great technology and then showing them where those operational savings are. It's funny, a lot of customers think by getting into a war of having lower price hardware, things like that, when really at the end of the day, what can you take out of your operational cost, both OpEx and CapEx? That's the key. So, that your solutions built around that really drive that.
Well, Richard, I think you said it, the design, right? So it starts with the design. How many times have we seen customers completely restricted from their own design, right? And it's because they didn't spend the time up front to actually properly design SAP so that they could leverage automation, right? Putting in Llama and utilizing our Llama adapter is greatly facilitated by having the proper design laid down first. And we've seen customers, you and I together, have seen customers where system copies could take weeks, right? Cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And us together, our technology and your capabilities as our PSO partner, could actually get these down to 90 minutes or a couple hours versus a couple weeks. That's hard dollar savings, right? That's not just a calculation of time. It's actually money saved. And that's comes from that kind of design approach that we
call them. We have a money slide. We have 6 basis steps, like rolling patches that take now 4 minutes compared to 30 hours and things like that, because we allow VMware to do what VMware does best and what SAP does and what they do best. And so kudos to you and VMware around the working in the labs to build that technology. And I think very few people understand how deeply integrated SAP and VMware are together on best practices. Maybe this gives a couple of thoughts about how you are integrated with the best practices, not only just in services, but also in some of these products, because there's no way this happens by accident. This is obviously driven by a lot of research.
Well, and we're actually almost at 10 years of this journey. We started this journey between VMware and SAP around best practices around 2011, right? This was something you and I actually worked together on early on, but building best practices, taking the best implementations and turning them into reusable, essentially, documents that customers can leverage or that we could, implement with customers, is the start and foundational of what we've done. And we've only refined this every year for the past 10 years. So we've got a really solid and very deep set of best practices that we provide to our customers that helps them run SAP better, right? And again, it starts with the design. I think the other part of it is when we look at how to enable best practices. So with our storage or with our automation or with our compute, how do we design our technology so that SAP can run in the best way possible, right? So all the integration work we do with Llama, right? It's not just so that we can say we're integrated to Llama, but it's so that when Llama needs to spin up a new environment for a system copy or do a rolling patch upgrade, it has the underlying infrastructure support to do it the way that it needs to do it best. And we've spent 7 years working on our integration with Llama. So
and the difference is you have attached it to your vRealize automation product set compared to just putting in storage. And that ability to have automation to automation is really the big difference between what other people have done.
Well, yeah, because SAP automation is not an island, right? It's part of an overall effort. So with vRealize automation, we can actually make it part of a comprehensive set of automation that enables the customer not just to focus on SAP, but focus on the broader context as well. So you're absolutely right.
Absolutely. And at the end, the big winner is the customer. Dominic, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure talking to you. And we really appreciate you sharing your thoughts with our audience today. You have a wonderful day and keep healthy, okay?
Thanks, Richard. You too. And thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thanks for watching Civatree Talks, and we hope you'll join us for future episodes as we continue to talk SAP and more with industry experts. Please be sure to subscribe to Civatree Technologies YouTube channel and click the bell for notifications. We welcome suggestions for future episodes in the comments. Also, please check out our website, www.civatree.com, find us on LinkedIn, and follow @CivatreeT on Twitter.